Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse, aka BGFH, and I am back for, I don't know what this is going to be, kind of a January video, kind of a New Year's 2019 video, and it's a little bit early. Not much has happened since the first of the year here. It's only, what is it, the 4th today? Friday the 4th? So yeah, I don't know, I just figured I would do a kind of a start 2019 channel update video. Maybe we'll do another one if a lot of things happen. I know they're talking about a Nintendo Direct sometime later this month, possibly. The Consumer Electronics Show starts next week in Las Vegas. And, you know, when things start ramping up, who knows what other announcements or what other things might happen in the next month. So I don't know, maybe I might do another update video this month, or maybe I'll wait till February. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, just I finished uploading a lot of videos for you guys in the past couple of weeks. Finished off 2018. It still feels really weird to say 2019. There's always that stretch where you're like, oh God, I always say the year before or right the year before. So we'll see how long that takes to get over. But I did do my usual. I didn't really do a game of the year, game of the year list or anything like that. I haven't really done that because I haven't played, especially a lot of the games that people would consider, the AAA games of the year that people refer to, like Red Dead Redemption 2. I haven't even played. Your typical staples like Medal of Honor, or not Medal of Honor, but Call of Duty, Battlefield, Assassin's Creed, all those types of things. So basically, it was just kind of my year in review in tech and gaming. And again, I do apologize. I have no freaking clue how, when I recorded the Oblivion for the background for that, the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, I have no idea why I decided, I'm just going to use about a fourth of the screen, and I'm not going to record it full screen. I mean, I know it's an older game, and it ran at lower resolutions than your typical 1080p back then, but I cranked it up, and it should have done that, and it streamed fine when I did it on Mixer a couple weeks ago, but I don't know. It just did what it was going to do, and, really, the game wasn't the focus of the video, and I had chatted for quite a while, so I'm like, you know what? Just call it an audio podcast and look at the background if you really wish, but sorry for the strange video behavior for that video. But yeah, we're looking at the channel right now. Quick channel update. Boy, what are we at right now? I think mid to late December, I want to say around or before Christmas, we just hit 1,300 subscribers. We are at 1,349 subscribers on the channel. So boom, killing it. Kicking off 2019 with a bang. We got almost 50 more subscribers. I've been seeing a fair number of user comments and likes and things on the videos that I've been uploading or unlocking for you guys recently, which is cool. And I have been doing my best to try and answer people's questions. I've been trying my best to, if people have a question or a comment or something like that. I mean, I do read them. Sometimes if I'm busy, I might read them and forget to reply for a little while. But I know when I started the channel, I wasn't very good at that. And I would say largely that was because in the beginning, no one really left comments on videos. So it was a rare kind of a shock to see, somebody did actually leave a comment. So I have been, again, I've been getting better at that, and I've done a few user-requested games and answered a few questions there, that kind of a thing. So if you were gone on vacation over the past week or two, and maybe you were just kind of coming back to things and catching up, there has been a lot on the channel. I just did a video for a cool free program that I learned about just before going on vacation myself. It was called Herbie Hocus Focus. It's a kind of a tool that you can use, let's say, with Windows Magnifier if you want a few like keyboard focus enhancements, kind of like you have in ZoomText, and cursor enhancements. See the little screenshot there. You've got the wedges on the cursor in a document. So definitely check that video out if you are low vision and maybe you want something to go along with a free thing like Windows Magnifier, Glassbrick, or something like that. We have our year in review video. We have our Dusk Mixer Part 1. Dusk is a really fun game. I'm thinking about, after I get a few more things done here today, I'm thinking about doing maybe a final Part 3. I have another one recorded and going to upload to you guys shortly. But Dusk is this first-person shooter that really brings back a lot of things like Quake and Heretic and things like that. It's really fun. I've been really hooked on it, and I've thought about it while I was on vacation. So yeah, it's really fun. Definitely go check that out. I have the first one up here. I'll get the second one up, but I'm thinking about possibly doing another stream, maybe giving it one more video. I might even do an actual low vision spotlight for it and just kind of show you guys a little bit of a teaser for the people who don't want to sit through several streams of a couple hours each to play through a game, because this is one that that I think would deserve a spotlight video just because I love the hell out of this game. There's been a few attempts at bringing back your 90s classic style first person shooters over the past few years, and some of them have been okay, some have been there's one I can't remember the name of, but it had some of these randomly generated elements, and I thought it looked cool in the beginning, but I played it and just it just was not doing it for me. I have a mixer for the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I've had several good comments on that on Twitter and on the YouTube channel, so thanks for that. At some point here in the fairly near future, I'm thinking about doing a start from the beginning stream on Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, because I'm trying to figure out which one I might want to devote some further time to, and I really should probably do Skyrim simply because I haven't beaten it yet, and I have played the hell out of Oblivion. Oh, and before I continue here, one comment that I did have from somebody, and it's a good point, and it's a good question. They said, why are you streaming on Mixer? You can stream live via YouTube, and it might just be easier for your viewers to catch a YouTube stream than it would be to watch Mixer. And yeah, that is true. Honestly, the main reason I kind of started it was because I was sort of curious on the whole Microsoft accessibility thing. They're doing stuff with Xbox, they're doing stuff with Windows 10, and also for the simple fact that, I know you have things like XSplit or OBS. These are programs that you can use to stream your computer, and then you have to get them to work with Twitch or YouTube or whatever stream service you're using. But one of the things that was really appealing about Mixer was that, hey, I got Windows 10. I can literally hit Windows key plus G. I can bring up the little game bar and say, I would like to broadcast this game. I don't have to install any crap. I don't have to download anything. I don't have to go link their account to that account and do this other thing. I mean, I can literally go into a game, and within about 10 seconds, after I adjust the audio levels, I can be streaming a game. No downloaded, nothing downloaded or anything. So that was honestly kind of my thing, because I had never done streaming before. It would have been different if I would have started with Twitch or YouTube when that started. But like I said, I just kind of never really thought I would do the streaming thing. But again, again, last year I started doing a lot of new things, and I thought, oh, we'll give it a shot. And like I said, the built-in nature of Mixer into Windows 10 made it easy for me to go, yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's see if I like it. Let's see if it works. So, yeah, like I said, I might look into doing some YouTube streams. But like I said, I'm kind of digging the ease of use. Although what I will say, about Mixer. Kind of the disappointment thing. One thing that would make me consider using a third-party program like XSplit or OBS is I think you can just stream your whole desktop. And that would be great for, like, let's say there was a bunch of little games that I wanted to try in a stream. So maybe, I would just be recording the desktop just like I am now. And I could go into a game, exit out, go into another game, exit out. Whereas Mixer, you have to be in an actual game. And it says, there's a little checkbox a lot of times that says, is this a game? And you say yes. And then you can record within that window, but you can't really do a straight up record, stream everything in the Windows desktop, which I kind of wish it would do. Because there are times where, especially with accessible games, maybe I would, stream me playing a couple of accessible games. Maybe I would go download some of those Audio Game Jam titles that I've been meaning to get around to, and maybe taking a look at some of them from late last year. I don't know. But that would be the one advantage, I think, to doing it through YouTube and using some other piece of software. Now, what I am curious about is I've heard mixed things on both programs. If anyone else who has done some streaming, anyone who watches this, if you have done some streaming, and especially if you are blind or visually impaired, which one have you guys used? Have you used XSplit? Have you used OBS? I don't know that I have a preference, but I need to look into something like that. And how easy is it to connect to your YouTube channel to make the stream work? Maybe you do Twitch, but I know you have to connect things. And I mean, I can research it and do it easily enough, I would think. But just curious if you guys have any preference, if there's any upsides or downsides or weird quirks that either one of those would have. But I know those are probably your two most common, XSplit or OBS. Let me get a drink really quick. Here we go. So I did want to address that. That was a perfectly good question. I forget who it was that asked me that, but hey, thanks for the question. Good question, and definitely something for me to think about. So again, getting back to things, recent videos that you may have missed. I managed to at the last minute. Thank you, Liam. I did a Christmas-themed game, and there was a few helpful comments that I'm actually need to go back and play this again, because I played it literally the day before I left for vacation. And during vacation, I'm like, man, I want to get a higher score. I want to go play this again. And I thought about downloading it to my parents' computer, but the Great Toy Robbery 2.0 was released from L-Works. And it's a simple little kind of arcadey, high score chase kind of a game, but it's really pretty fun. And since I recorded the video, I have played it a little bit more, and I have actually gotten all the keys, and I've made Santa very angry and made him destroy his workshop, and that definitely does seem to be the way to get the high scores, is to do that. But there is definitely a bit more of a risk. I have gotten stomped by the big man a couple of times. But yeah, Christmas themed or not, it's actually a fun little game. So, and I'm hoping with the new versions, I'm hoping that the game updates itself. I hope, because I've seen on Twitter that over the vacation that he has, released a fair few updates since I downloaded the version I have. But I hope you don't have to go to the website and re-download it every time. I hope the game can just update itself. So we'll see. The Great Toy Robbery. Oh yeah, the Microsoft's table tennis kind of a thing. I did that right before I left. What was this one called? Oh yeah, Ear Hockey. That was actually kind of fun. You could play it visually with some minimal visuals. But to me, the perspective was really weird because you're right down on the table. And it's kind of trippy with that camera angle. So I almost find it easier, to play without visuals, or just close my eyes or have them disable the visuals. So cool game, Ear Hockey. You can download it in the Windows 10 store. It's pretty sweet. a couple of VR titles. We've got Blindfold Millionaire. That was a request, again, from another user, so I covered that. Yeah, Disney Afternoon Collection, some classic, but very difficult old school 2D platformers and such from the NES era, complete with DuckTales, the theme song, the DuckTales theme song MIDI, the NES version. It's such a catchy song. Like it will get in your head, I guarantee it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. We got a Sonic Mania video, which is one of the best Sonic games that's come out in years. And I'm not saying that lightly because a lot of the Sonic games in the last several years have sucked. Got a Rick and Morty, or not Rick and Morty, Adventure Time game there. But yeah, I mean, so that's kind of several videos that you may or may have not seen. Got some long videos for like the mixers and stuff. Got some assistive technology. Got some low vision titles, VR titles, a fair number of accessible games. And the good news is in early 2019, I do have already several accessible games recorded. So, yeah, we're not going to dry up here for a little while. I've got a couple of, so speaking of 2019 content here, I've got a couple of accessible smart speaker games. I've got at least one or two PC games that I haven't unlocked for you guys yet, accessible. I think a couple of iOS titles. So yeah, we have a few accessible titles that we'll sprinkle in here between all of the other VR and low vision stuff. I do have a couple of hardware reviews. One of the things I just got done setting up a few days before I left on vacation, actually, is I got this Amazon Basics monitor stand. And it's a monitor arm that you clamp to like the back of your desk, or there's a mount where you can mount it to your wall if you want to do it that way. But I did not want to do that through my apartment complex and have to worry about dealing with that later or making them angry. So, because what I've always wanted is like, I had my monitor before, literally had them on a couple of textbooks. I had to get these textbooks that were, I hadn't even opened them, but I had to get them so that I could get the accessible version in college. And yeah, I've been using two textbooks to prop up my monitor for the past several years, and now I have this arm that I can move the monitor forward or backward or tilt it, or I can, move it out of the way if I really need to. But it's just really nice not having to lean in, kind of lean forward to try to look at something. It's just, I have it basically right over my keyboard, and it's just nicely right in front of me, so I can especially for like looking at small detail, reading print, it's just really nice. And now I really want one at work. So I got to figure out how to do that this year in our weird cubicle farm. So yeah, I've got a hardware review. I do have another hardware review that I have not recorded yet. I need to get around to. A little buyer's remorse that I talked about earlier. I have a PlayStation Classic, which I'll talk more about that in its video, but yeah, didn't get the pre-order canceled in time, so I do have one of those, and I will review it early this year. And there's a couple of other weird things that I want to potentially try with it as well. So yeah, the PlayStation Classic. I may or may have a couple of other hardware reviews coming up. I can't even remember, but yeah, you never know. So we have that. I'm also going to be doing I think starting on Sunday, I think we're going to do a Shenmue Sunday for the next, probably a month or two, couple months, because they're longer videos. And yeah, I think we're going to do Shenmue Sundays, and we are going to play through the first Shenmue, which I started on Mixer. Mixer was giving me some problems, so then I just recorded the rest, and so everybody will be able to then see the full playthrough of Shenmue 2. And then at the end of that, I will also give you a low vision spotlight for Shenmue 2. Even starting playing it again, there are mechanics that are added to Shenmue 2, and there are things I like about Shenmue 2, but I don't know. Something about it, I just don't really have the urge to do a full playthrough of that game the way I did the first one. The first one, I don't know if it's just, I just have so much nostalgia for, it just blew me away back in the day. I mean, I look back at it now, and yeah, I mean, there is some real jank to the first Shenmue. There is some stuff that does not age well, let's just say, at all. But, I can look past it because of what it was actually trying to do, and it was really ahead of its time. I mean, think about it. This came out on the Dreamcast. They were originally trying to make that come out on the Sega Saturn, and there's just no way it could do it. But that was one hell of a Dreamcast game, let me tell you. So yeah, I think this coming Sunday, I think we're going to kick off 2019 with Shenmue, and you guys can check that series out. And it's very vocal, and I think even if you are totally blind, you will get a lot out of this game, including its fantastically bad voice acting. We are going to start out the year right by finding and searching for some sailors. So yeah, there's that. Another question that I did have from somebody, I forget who, somebody just asked me for whatever reason, what are all the icons on your desktop? I do have a lot of them. Granted, I don't really use many of them. There's only a very few that I even do use, but it's just one of those things. Oh, a program gets installed. Yeah, okay, there's an icon there. Fine, leave it there. Because the way I launch programs is I really only launch them mainly through searching through the start menu. Just hit the Windows key, type in what I want, enter, boom, we're done. Or the programs that I use all the frickin' time, I will use them pinned to the taskbar, because then I can just hit Windows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., and I can just switch to or open those set programs. So like, again, let me turn my magnifier on here. I got my start menu, so on the taskbar I've got like Internet Explorer, because there are some things where I still need to use that. I have Steam at number 2, so I can hit Windows 2 for Steam. Windows 3 is Chrome, because that is my primary browser that I use. And Windows 4 is actually, I've pinned my volume mixer to my taskbar, because I use that a lot. I'll go into a game, Alt-Tab out, and then adjust the audio level for that particular title, so that when I do a video or stream, hopefully it'll be mixed well enough where I can, you can hear me over the game, but still hear the game, the title. So yeah, and then the next one I have is Minecraft, and that was a thing that I used, a lot a few years ago, but the last couple of years I really haven't played Minecraft all that much. So yeah, and then the couple programs that I'm running right now, I got Bandicam and Magnifier. And speaking of Bandicam, I got an interesting comment the other day. Somebody was saying that Bandicam, at least the latest version or something, some antivirus programs detect it as malware or spyware. I've never had a problem with Bandicam. I did do a little bit of research on the official site and the forums, and there's a few other people talking about it. It seems like if you're using specific antivirus software, I forget what the one was called that seems to bring it up. I don't use it. I've heard of it. I forget, but there's one or two that I think that the company is actually going to reach out to the antivirus and say, no, this is a legit program. There's some false positives. I mean, it doesn't slow my computer down. It records the way it's supposed to. It actually works very, very well. So please, Bandicam, don't go the way of the dark side. Don't wreck a good thing, because I really like using your program for recording. So just, a word of that. So my desktop, per people's request, I'll just go down each column here. I've got the recycle bin. I've got some removed apps.html. I'm guessing that was from Windows 7. I'm not sure That probably doesn't even need to be there, but I got Bandicam, System Access, DocuScan Plus, actually. I have Doom 3 BFG VR. That one I will cover on the channel earlier this year. I have the video recorded. But yes, you can play Doom 3 in virtual reality, and it's kind of badass. I kind of enjoy it, actually. So yeah, remember, Doom 3 was one of the, if not the first real game that anyone had really started to see when John Carmack started working with the Oculus Rift prototype. People were seeing Doom 3 running in VR, and so yeah, I've gotten to play that. We have Driver Detective. I have version 4 right now. I think there's an update, which I haven't done. This was occasionally, I used it because it was kind of handy there was some like weird motherboard or audio chip drivers that I had to try to figure out which ones to find, and it seemed to work okay. So I've been using that a little bit. We got the GeForce Experience. That's just, I use that, you can use that to get the drivers and all kinds of stuff. It's an NVIDIA thing. Next column, I got Malwarebytes, which I do own the Pro version. Although I've been turning the background scanning off lately because on some of the videos, depending on the game, it seems to have introduced a little bit more performance issues where some things lag a little bit. So sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But Malwarebytes, you want a good program that goes beyond like your Windows Defender and gets rid of some of your Trojans and malware and all kinds of things. Malwarebytes has served me very well in the past 10 plus years or so. I've been using it for a long time and I still really like it. Malwarebytes. Oh yes, Manamon, the little Pokemon accessible thingy that I have not very gotten far in and I forgot all about. We got Firefox, which I don't really use much. I use it for something back in the day. Oh yeah, I remember what I used it for. Okay. Yeah, and then we have NVDA, of course. Great screen reader. Thank you very much. Oculus. It'll start my little Oculus app there. Reflector 2 and 3. I have not removed version 2 yet, but I probably could. Reflector, of course, is the programs where that is what I use to mirror my iPhone and iPad to my computer so that I can record iOS videos. Very, very cool program. Glad. I really like it a lot. I have Sero. That's their kind of network thing. I have Skype. I have Steam. And that is the second column. Oh, you know what? I just didn't even go down all the way the first one. I have Google Chrome. Yes, I have the iTunes virus because I had to briefly for a moment. And then I have Lurking. That was that kind of covered it in October last year, I believe. It was the Lurking was this game where it was like this first-person sneaking game where it was like this kind of line art echolocation thing. Kind of cool, kind of frustrating. So the third column we have System Access. That is the full screen reader, so I use that in NVDA primarily on this machine. You know I don't even have JAWS installed. There's really no need for my purposes. What do we got here? Oh yes, Team Talk 5 Classic. I used that when I was on the Blind Bargains cast, and so that is what they use to do the chatting and such. Video, basically Windows Movie Maker. I was using that to do a couple of minor edits on some videos, splicing things together and such. AM2R. Man, yeah, good luck if you can find that anymore. AM2R is that really, really solid classic Metroid 2 remake that somebody had done before Samus Returns came out on the DS a couple of years ago. Dropbox, of course. No One Lives Forever. Man, do those officially need to come out. I would love to see like a remastered or HD version of the No One Lives Forever 1 and 2 games, because I covered the first one on the channel. They are very cool. They took like the GoldenEye 007 type of thing that on the N64, and basically PC-ified it. You know, they gave you mission objectives, gadgets. There was a little bit of sneaking, but it was a first-person shooter. It was funny. Kate Archer was just a great character. Man, Monolith, you guys got to quit making all your weird microtransaction-y third-person garbage, and come on, man, come back and make more Fear, make more No One Lives Forever. Like, go back to making your early 2000s era first-person shooters, because they were fucking cool, man. You guys were making some awesome games. You really need to come back to that. Blinded Guide, another L-Works title that I've covered on the channel. Uplay, I don't even remember how that got installed, but that's Ubisoft's weird little game launcher thing. I don't even know what my account credentials are on that anymore. Windows Upgrade Assistant, I don't really need that anymore because I'm running Windows 10. Then I have a couple of text files, games to cover, I need to update that. These are just some notes of like, oh, these are some games I'd like to record for the channel, just a little text file. And I have another one over here called video schedule. Those are from last year when there was like, oh, I wanted to cover a whole bunch of, I wanted to do like a VR month. I wanted to do a horror month for Halloween, stuff like that. So yeah, I got to combine those and just do whatever with those. Let's see. I did system access. I did that row or that column. Eloquence, I did get that, the Windows Eloquence thing that you can use with like NVDA or any other thing that uses text-to-speech. However, I do like Eloquence, and there are things I like to use it for. Here's the problem. I don't really I'm really thinking about not using it anymore, because this has happened to me at least 2 or 3 times now, and it's currently broken. I don't like the way they implement it, because every time, I did the fall update, when I did the October 2018 update, if I do a major Windows update, or something kind of majorly changes, the program authorization craps itself, and then I got to go contact, like if I could just reactivate it or refix it or something on my own. But no, I got to go contact somebody, either I think it's at like AT Guys or something like that. Anytime like a major system changes, oh, your thing is not activated anymore. And so you run a program that you have set to Eloquence, and all you hear is, you need to activate your program, activate your program, activate your program. I'm like, shut the hell up. So I'm not really happy with the way they've implemented their authorization schemes. And that seems to be a recurring problem, so I don't know how much I really want to use that Eloquence thing anymore. Unless you guys come up with a better scheme, maybe offer it through the Windows Store and maybe just have it validate through that. I don't know, but it's kind of ticking me off, to be honest. I don't know why there's a Microsoft Edge icon on my desktop, but there is. GOG Galaxy, that's kind of the Steam competitor. I've covered a few GOG or good old games, GOG games on the channel. Got a couple more coming out that are really, really cool that I loved back in the day. Epic Games Launcher, yeah, I got that updated shortly before I left on vacation. That is the new competitor to Steam. They're just really starting out early. They only have a couple of titles, but they do have a couple of titles that are exclusive to the to the Epic Games Store. 1 or 2 of which I really wouldn't mind checking out. And I know they said that Journey, the PlayStation 3 game, is going to be coming, at least for a time, is going to be exclusive to the Epic Games Store, which I do really want to cover on the channel, because that is a gorgeous, gorgeous game. We have CCleaner, very handy utility. Cleans up a lot of your garbage content, your extra like cache files and things. And I have found, like, if there's some like website where it just doesn't refresh, or like there's some weird error, like maybe your browser ends up crashing when you do certain things, run CCleaner, and a lot of times it kind of just fixes whatever temp file or whatever garbage thing might be cached. That's actually helped even at work like a few times. So CCleaner, the only thing I will say is be very careful when you're installing CCleaner. The main thing I don't like about it is you've got to be very careful. Definitely look at everything, tab through everything, or look at everything in the install, because it loves to sneak in extra bullshit. It loves to sneak in like toolbars, Google Toolbar, Chrome, which if you already have it, whatever, Chrome is fine. But like it tried to install when I did an update of CCleaner just this morning. It thought it was, we're gonna go ahead and try to install Avast, which A is not, I don't think, is very accessible anymore, and B, like if I wanted an extra program, I would go download that program. I'm downloading CCleaner because I want that program. I don't want your other freaking garbage. Enough. Make it stop. So be very careful. That's the one bad thing I would say about CCleaner, but other than that, it's a solid application. Microsoft Teams. I was using that with a Microsoft group thingy that I'm in right now, that I am not at liberty to discuss. But there you go. And play the great toy robbery. So that is your, per request, that is a look at my Windows desktop. God forbid, if I actually had everything from my Steam library in, I wouldn't even be able to contain it all. I mean, my Steam, even my current games installed, I probably have a couple hundred games installed. Yeah, it's pretty insane. So yeah, that's kind of a quick not so quick, but it's kind of a New Year's-esque video. Like I said, you guys didn't notice a thing. I was out on vacation for the past week. I left on Friday the 21st or something like that. Came back, got home yesterday. Got to enjoy a nice long visit with the family. So I got to see my brother and got to see my parents, and just really didn't do much. Just kick back, relax. Didn't really even play a lot of games. A tiny bit on my iPad. But no, I mean, I really didn't play much. Just kick back and listen to a couple things. Didn't even get to read all that much, but just, kind of kick back, socialized. Saw the family. Went and visited a friend for a couple days on my way back down. Yeah, got back last night. Couple days, did some nice, had a few cocktails, shall we say. Last Saturday night was kind of interesting. Kind of sent a tweet out. I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I was feeling no pain because it kind of didn't quite come out exactly the way I wanted. But yeah, let's just say, Saturday night I was feeling pretty good. But yeah, visit family, visit friends, ate a lot of really, really good food. Both my parents, shout out to them because, God, man, they are both really good cooks. It was delicious. That is one thing that I will totally miss. And again, thank you to them because the last few years, I have, like, one of the Christmas present that they usually give me is they give me some meat, some really lean, I get like pork or beef or just a few other odds and ends. I've gotten everything from like roast or deer sausage, venison sausage. But it's all lean. It's better than the stuff you're going to get at your local grocery store. So my freezer is stocked full. I am good for the year. Save me a bunch of money and eat really good quality stuff. It's delicious. And I even got a cool little present from them. I got a little six-pack size fridge. And I am totally going to bring that to work and use it because, I can have a couple of pops. If I want to bring in something and have it, I can have my own little fridge for lunch. Shove that under my desk in the corner of my cube. Yeah, that sounds like a really cool plan. So, just been a really relaxing week and a half or so. I took about a couple of weeks off of work. Like I said, I'm recording this on Friday. Yeah, Friday the 4th. Going back to work on Tuesday. So, got to meet with friends, got to meet with family. I get a couple of nice fun days to just kick back and do my own thing, and then it's back to the grind in 2019, back to the rat race. But you know what? By then I should be ready for it. But yeah, that is kind of just another little summary video for you guys. A little welcome to 2019. Here's what you missed. Here's what's coming. A little bit of other stuff. And yeah, I think that's really about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, thank you for checking out the channel. Thanks for the likes and the subscribes and the comments. And like I said, I'm very, very intrigued to see what accessibility is going to bring in 2019, both in the way of mainstream and game accessibility. We have the... I forget what it was called. I just saw it on Twitter this morning. Was it CVAA or... Yeah. Where basically in 2019, starting now, anything where you're communicating, so it's like television, video, whatever act. So games, if you're communicating, let's say live chat or things like that, those types of things need to be accessible. And so that is kicking off. And like I said, I know we're going to get to see some other accessible games and things like that. Who knows who knows what else Microsoft's got cooking up its sleeve after their their adaptive controller. Very curious to see that. I haven't watched the movie yet, but there's this whole hubbub on, what is it, Bird Box, I think it's called. This strange little, I guess it's some kind of a horror movie thing on Netflix where people are doing this Bird Box challenge, which is really stupid, but apparently you're supposed to record yourself being blindfolded or something, and and rightfully so. I've seen a fair number of blind and visually impaired people kind of complaining about that. Like, I liked one of the tweets that I saw. It was, so the whole challenge is to basically pretend you're a blind person for a day or something. Isn't that a little insulting? Because again, yeah, I mean, that's the problem with this immersion, even like my current job, they'll send people for this like fake adjustment to blindness training where like, you get to go under the blindfold and see what it's like for a few weeks. It can kind of help. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to create empathy for like, yeah, these are the clients you're going to be working with. This is sort of what it's like. And in some ways I get that, but in some ways it can do more damage because again, I've heard comments from people, be it online or whatever. Being blind, I swear to God, is like the worst possible affliction that anyone could have. I've heard literally people like, I would almost rather have cancer than to go blind, or, just everything. It's a visual world. Everyone just freaks the hell out if they lose their vision. Even look at like, blind is, I know it's like this weird synonym, but like, what is the first thing? I am blind to this, or it's a, blind date, or he's blind to the fact that, blind is like another word for ignorant, because that's just like, if you're blind, you're obviously, you're stupid or you don't know any better. So, it's just this whole thing of this under the blindfold thing. It's not really, you got to do it for an extended period of time, and you really, really got to go through a lot of training, because like I said, you can't, like a sighted person, they do that and go, phew, I can take the blindfold off. Well, we don't have that luxury. If you have some or no vision, we don't have that luxury. Our vision is what it is. And, they panic because, let's say you're going out on mobility and you're going to cross a street. They say, God, man, this was so scary. Like there was cars and I heard things and I didn't know what was coming over on the left there. And, I didn't know if I was walking straight. Yeah, you get a little bit of training in some of those situations, but like, it almost makes them less, not less sympathetic, but like, it almost makes them lower their expectations of blind and visually impaired people more if they go through that kind of a training in a short period of time, because they go, God, wow, that was really difficult. Like this basic task, I didn't know how I would do it. If I wouldn't have had somebody there to help me, I couldn't have got it done. You guys are so brave. And that's where you get all this inspiration porn thing going on. And it's just one of those things where I just don't think, in some ways, I think it can do more harm than good. And then the reason I bring that up is because then you bring something like this Bird Box Challenge thing where people are just blindfolding themselves. It's not under the guise of training. It's just, oh, hey, let's blindfold ourselves and try to do stupid things. Or like, I don't know if they're just trying to do daily tasks, or if they're trying to like, oh, well, I want to do the most, I want to do like a risky thing. I don't know if doing something risky is, part of their, I don't exactly know the criteria of this whole challenge nonsense, but, yes, you have the potential to hurt yourself or kill yourself. I mean, God forbid, if you don't have the training, don't blindfold yourself and go try to cross a street. You're going to ask for it, although the number of people that I see just buried in their cell phones or jaywalking and not give a damn, I guess it's not really much more than that, because people seem oblivious to safety and things as it is, especially when I'm near work. But no, don't do that. I mean, that's just stupid. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to watch that movie just to see what it is they're referencing, what this whole blindfold thing is. Maybe I'll talk about that a little bit in the next channel update video or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a thing now. Because people on the internet are really dumb. Last year it was Tide Pods. This year, and then fidget spinners. Now this year it's blindfolding yourself and getting injured, or, dude, I don't know. What the hell is wrong with people? What are we doing? But on that crazy note, we'll wrap up the video for real this time. I remembered at the last second I wanted to talk about that a little bit, despite not having seen the movie yet to know what the heck is going on. But yeah, again, thank you for subscribing, for interacting with the channel. Go ahead and follow me on Mixer, mixer.com/BGFH. I'm sure I'm going to do some kind of a stream here tonight or tomorrow, and kind of doing an ongoing thing. May look into doing YouTube streaming in the future, but mixer.com/BGFH. You can follow me, and then it'll let you know when I go live. You can follow me on Twitter, not Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at BGFH79. I've been having quite a few really good and interesting conversations with people there, just publicly or via private message. I've been having a lot of fun little conversations there. So yeah, it's been really kind of cool. But yeah, just under 1,350 subscribers, and we've only just begun January. So very, very cool. I'm hoping that 2019 turns out to be a really good thing. I have no idea what's in store, really. I'm looking at doing possibly a couple of things. Maybe trying to see if I can get down to GA Conf this year. I would love to, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it happen. Speaking of which, they did release all the GA Conf videos on YouTube recently, so check those out if you want to. There's some great stuff in there. And who knows what'll happen, but we'll wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Happy New Year again. Welcome to 2019. And until next time, I will chat with you guys again later.